All right, so we want to just briefly look at this Daughters of Liberty poem. And we're looking at two things in this lecture. And actually, this lecture and then the next two lectures, right, we're looking at the contradictions of liberty and freedom existing alongside slavery. But then we're also trying to think about the ways in which women are kind of seeing themselves in different ways, kind of more political. Again, they're not out there getting the vote just yet. Baby steps with women's history, but we can see this a little bit, particularly in this Daughters of Liberty poem, because just as men call themselves sons of liberty, women are say, well, hey, I'm all about liberty too. I'm a daughter of liberty. So again, taking that kind of identity, but applying it to their own situation. And so if we look at the poem, there's a lot more in this poem than you need. So if we look at the beginning here, at the beginning and the end, they kind of call out the inaction of men. They say, since the men from a party or fear of a frown are kept by a sugar plum quietly down, supinely asleep and deprived of their sight, are stripped of their freedom and robbed of their right. If the son so degenerate the blessings despise, let the daughters of liberty nobly arise. So again, what they're saying there in the first, 2, 4, 6 lines is, for whatever reason, the men aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. Well, you know what? If the men aren't going to do the work, I guess it's up to us. I guess it's up to the women. Let the daughters of liberty nobly arise. We'll take care of this. And then they say, we don't really have much of a voice, but we can do stuff with our actions, right? But we've no voice but a negative here, right? We don't have much of a voice, but we can do things. And so then they go through and they talk about like substitutes, which I mentioned in the narrative text, right? So they talk about Pennsylvania's gay meadows, right? They can give us the things that we need. Paper sufficient at home we have, right? So if they're going to tax paper, well, we'll find ways to get paper. They mentioned homespun, right? When this homespun shall fail to remonstrate our grief, we can speak viva voce or scratch on a leaf, right? Well, refuse colors. We'll find dye. We'll use the juice of a berry. Fine, we don't have to buy, dye or what have you from England. We can make our own with the berries that we have here. They, at the end then, they also, again, call out the inaction of men. They say, but a motive more worthy our patriot pen, thus acting, we point out their duty to men, right? So men are just sitting around writing pamphlets, they say. Meanwhile, women are doing all the work, right? One other thing in here to point out, 2 others. So first, not only do they call themselves Daughters of Liberty, they also refer to themselves as American patriots. So again, that they are kind of taking on that political identity. The second thing to point out to you too, though, is when they say we will not sign slave, there's those contradictions we're looking for, right? We won't be slaves to the English, even though some of these women are in fact holding people in bondage and are certainly participating and complicit in the slave trade. So again, key things there with that poem, the way in which women are kind of taking this political identity and saying we're just like the sons of liberty, but daughters, and actually we're getting the work done, they seem to be claiming. But also we can see that other theme that we're looking for to that second theme, those contradictions of liberty and freedom existing alongside slavery when 1 out of 5 people is enslaved in this revolutionary period. All right, I hope that helps with interpreting that poem, and hope you're doing well. Take care.